Hello everyone, myself Jyoti Devre. I am going to introduce about the subject embedded system having subject code 22532 of 5th semester. In course outcomes, we are going to study different microcontrollers for various industrial applications. We are going to study C programming language in this embedded system, as well as we are going to study common standards used in this embedded system, as well as applications and features of real-time operating system. In teaching and examination scheme, theory paper is having 70 marks and external practical having 25 marks. In this subject there are 5 units. So first is introduction to embedded system, which carries 12 marks, programming using embedded C, which carries 16 marks, communication standards and protocols, which carries 12 marks, interfacing input and output devices, which carries 18 marks, real-time operating systems, which carries 12 marks. In unit 1, topics which we are going to cover are: first we will cover block diagram of embedded system with components, second hardware and von Neumann architecture, which includes RISC and CISC processors, third characteristics of embedded system, fourth classification of embedded system, that is small scale as well as large scale embedded system, last is the features of PIC, AVR and ARM microcontrollers. Now we will study about the block diagram of embedded system. The embedded system consists of different components embedded into it. As shown in figure, first is embedded processor, second program and data memory, third system timers, fourth serial communication port, fifth interrupt controller, sixth parallel ports, seventh output interfacing driver circuits, eighth input interfacing driver circuits, ninth power supply, reset and oscillator circuits, and last is system application specific circuits. Now we will see one by one the description of each block. First is embedded processor. It consists of control unit to perform instruction fetching operation from memory and execution unit. Second is program and data memory. Most of the microcontroller have inbuilt separate memory to store data and program. For example, RAM, ROM, flash memory, etc. Now next is system timers. Timer logic is configured as a system clocks to generate system interrupts periodically and also configured as a real-time clock to generate system interrupts. Fourth is serial communication port. Now the serial communication ports are used to interface serial devices with the system, and normally most of the microcontroller have inbuilt serial communication port. Next is interrupt controller. It is required in the system to handle interrupt from various processes. Next is sixth one is parallel ports. Parallel ports are used for parallel data communication and may have more than one parallel port to perform parallel communication between processor and parallel devices. Next is input and output driver circuit. In this, input-output devices may be different from processor, hence input-output driver circuits are needed to drive input or output devices. Next is power supply, reset and oscillator circuits. Most of the embedded systems use their own power supply, such as network interface card, that is NIC, but systems that do not have their own power supply, then such systems uses processor power supply. The clock signals are used to control the timing of execution. Next is system application specific circuit. System application specific circuits are used to handle and control specific target circuits, consists of ADC, DAC, stepper motor, sensors, relay, etc. Now we will see how microcontroller is working as the heart of embedded system. The role of microcontroller in the embedded system, we will see microcontroller is an IC chip that takes input and processes the data according to the program written in its memory and gives output as control signal for controlling other machines and devices. Microcontroller is symbolically abbreviated as MUSI or MCU, that is microcontroller unit, which is a small computer on a single IC integrated circuit containing a processor core, memory and programmable input-output peripherals. Now here we will see how the embedded system examples are related with real life application. Now in today's world of technology, we found microcontrollers in almost every electronic device. So the general purpose devices such as digital watches, washing machines, CD, DVD players, mobile phones and microwave ovens works on the basis of microcontroller. These are day-to-day devices. Here we see how the devices are related with microcontrollers such as mobile phones, camera, microwave oven, security, CD DVD player, electronic measurements and instrument. In development part, embedded system is developed in two parts, software development and hardware development. In hardware development, it includes choosing the right MCU for your application to satisfy the requirements of your project. For choosing microcontroller, the following is the criteria, that is, first is number of input-output ports, serial communication modules, peripherals like timer, ADC, PWM, pulse width modulation, memory requirements, processing speed required, power requirements. So these all are the criteria for choosing a microcontroller for a particular project. In software development, it is divided into two parts, high level language and low level language. In high level language there is a compiler and in low level language there is an assembler. So these both combine and form a machine code, that is hex file, then given device programmer, then to program memory. In software development, using assembly language involves learning the used microcontroller specific instruction sets, and in using C programming language makes your code portable, which means that you can use it for another target microcontroller without instruction set. In von Neumann architecture, we will see it is a model that uses processing unit and a single separate storage. In the figure you can see there is arithmetic logic unit, memory, input output unit. Okay, then in von Neumann architecture it uses shared memory for instruction programs, means stored program concept is being used, and data with one data bus and one address bus between processor and memory. And one most important point in this architecture is instructions and data have to be fetched in sequential order. Okay, not it is been fetched directly, it is fetched in a sequential order called as von Neumann architecture. Its design is simpler than hardware architecture. Now, as mentioned in the unit 1, we have to study some types of basic controllers also. So there are three types given in this unit 1: PIC, AVR and ARM controller. So first we will go to PIC, that is programmable interface controllers. So these are they are smallest microcontroller which can be programmed to perform large range of tasks. So These PIC microcontrollers are used in many electronic devices such as phones, computer control systems, alarm systems, embedded systems. The PIC microcontroller architecture consists of RAM, ROM, CPU, timers, counters, A to D converter, ports, flash memory, general purpose register, special purpose register. Also supports the protocols such as SPI, CAN, UART for interfacing with peripherals. So this is the basics of PIC controller. Now we will see the comparison of 89C51, PIC, AVR and ARM. PIC already you know, that is peripheral interface controller. AVR is advanced virtual RISC and ARM is advanced RISC machine. So we will see the comparison of these four devices. Comparison is based on the bus width, common protocols, speed, memory support, architecture, memory architecture, power consumption, families and cost. So all these are the parameters, and on the basis of these parameters the four devices are being compared. You can see this table and we can compare these parameters. As I already told you about the von Neumann architecture, I will explain about in short about the hardware architecture. Hardware architecture uses physically separate memories for instruction and data, which requires dedicated buses for each of them. It uses physically separate storage and single pathway for instruction and data. Now we will see the comparison of hardware and von Neumann architecture. So in hardware architecture, separate memories are required for instruction and data, while in von Neumann single memory for instruction and data. Second point, requires separate and dedicated buses for instruction and data. In von Neumann requires only single bus for instruction and data. In hardware, third point, design is complicated. In von Neumann design is simpler. Fourth point, instruction and data can be fetched simultaneously, but in von Neumann it has to be fetched in a sequential order. So this is the comparison of hardware and von Neumann architecture. Now we will see the comparison of RISC and CISC. RISC is nothing but reduced instruction set computer, and CISC is complex instruction set computer. RISC architecture is a hardwired processor architecture which utilizes a small, highly optimized instruction set, while CISC architecture is ROM-based processor architecture which is designed with a full set of instructions. We will see the comparison. First point, in RISC, reduced instructions takes only one cycle, while in CISC, complex instructions require multiple cycles. In second point, only load and store instructions can reference memory. In CISC, many instructions can reference memory. Uses pipelining to execute instructions. In CISC, instructions are executed one at a time. Next point, many general registers are being used. Here in CISC, few general registers are being used. Then in RISC, more emphasis on software, and in CISC it is more emphasis on hardware. Now in this slide we will study about the characteristics and as well as design matrix of the embedded system. So characteristics or design matrix are measurable features during the implementation system. So whenever we design a system, so these factors we require for implementing a system. So there are many factors I will go through. First is processor power, then memory, operating system, reliability, NRE cost, that is non-recurring engineering cost, unit cost, size, flexibility, time to prototype, time to market and maintainability. So from among these we have taken 4 factors. So first, processor. The selection of processor depends upon the amount of processing power. The powerful 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit and 64-bit processors are available. So clock speed and memory addressing capabilities also measure of processor power. So first we have seen processor, then second about memory. So what type of memory we require for designing an embedded system? Designer has to make an estimate for memory requirement and must make provision for expansion. So there are different types of memories in a system like RAM, ROM and EEPROM, electrically erasable PROM. Next is power. So it is the amount of power consumed by the system which determine the lifetime of battery. The fourth one is NRE cost, that is non-recurring engineering cost. It is the one-time cost of the designing the system. Once system is designed, any number of units can be manufactured without incurring any additional design cost. Now we will see the types of embedded systems. Types of embedded systems based on two types, based on performance and functional requirements, and another is based on the performance of the microcontroller. So based on the performance there are four types. First is real time, second is standalone, third is networked, fourth is mobile. And based on the performance of the microcontroller there are three types: small scale, medium scale and sophisticated. So in real time embedded systems are designed to perform some specific work in specific time, that it includes hard real time or soft real time systems. In network embedded system, it consists of various components such as sensors, controllers, actuators, etc. interconnected through a network using TCP/IP or UDP. In standalone embedded system, it works in standalone mode, in which input, that is electrical signal from sensor or keyboard or push button, are taken, then processed and produce the desired output to drive another system such as LED or LCD display. In mobile embedded system, mobile phones, iPhones, tablets, personal digital assistants, smartphones, pagers are the example of mobile embedded system. Now last is features and applications of embedded system. The features of embedded system are: they compute results in real time without any delay, uses little power, they are low cost and small in size. In applications, embedded systems are used in ATMs, cellular telephones, telephone switches, household appliances, medical equipment, multifunction wristwatches, aircraft missiles, factory automation and communication equipment. There are some assignment questions you have to complete in your notebook in time. Thank you.